everybody, I'm Martin Harper, also known as Dreas from GMD Online. I'm the writer and designer for the GMD Core RPG. I have been doing a series of videos, tutorial videos, that explain how to play various parts of the game, and the last one I've done was about the different types of dice that we use, how to roll them, how to read a dice pool. But I'm going to go into a bit more detail today in this tutorial on how to create your dice pools, roll them and upgrade the dice in different categories and what those categories are. The Core RPG, as with all of our products, the war games, card games, adventures, core worlds, which are campaign settings, and we're hopefully to get into miniatures if we can get enough Patreon backers, are all funded by my Patreons over at www.patreon.com/GMD Online. They get all these products for free, including the role-playing games, any adventures, tokens, artwork, art cards, comics, and also we have a huge community they can take part in. If that sounds like something you want to do, come along and join us. But today I'm using Tabletop Simulator from Steam to show all the dice rolls, because for you to read the result on these dice at this size, it's going to be pretty hard. Whereas at least here on the screen, when I'm actually on the right screen, I can zoom in for you to see the results. Now I've got myself a character sheet here. We've just got Ziva Stabber-Goldstein. She's a human scrapper made for one of our modern military games. So let's get back in now. I didn't mean to zoom out. Oh, we're all over the place. Help. There we go. Okay, so dice pools. I'm assuming that you've, one, own a copy of the Core RPG, and two, have watched or read the section about the different types of dice. Core RPG, just to recap, is an opposed game system. That means you roll the dice, your target or your opponent or the game's master rolls the dice, and the highest out of the dice that you roll wins. Draw is a loss, rolling less than them is a loss. The highest dice roll. Say for example, I rolled a D8, GM rolls a D10, boom, draw, lost. I've got to beat the target number. So the person who's making the dice roll against the target must beat the target to score a success. So let's do that again, and hopefully we won't get draw. Just to say that. Say for example, I'm attacking a goblin. I roll my attack. Goblin rolls its defense. 8 beats 4. I win. All the dice explode, so that 8 would run, because it's rolled its highest, goes again. Adds them together. 15. That's the only time you add dice together, is if that dice explodes. So if I rolled, say, all 3 of these, which you'll see in a minute, I discard the lowest dice, keep the highest. That's my result. That's a 9. It's just upside down on D10. Okay, so dice pools. Most of the time when you roll the dice, you'll be rolling 1 dice, and that's your statistic. So if the GM says to you, you say to the GM, I want to hold up the portcullis so my companions can race through before close it behind me, trapping the goblins that are chasing us through the dungeon. And you may say, okay, give me a strength check. So we'll check our character sheet. We can see we've got D6 level 2 strength there. And I put a D6, and I've got that. The reason I've put it on the dice pool card is I'm trying to explain the dice pools. So that goes in the lane or category of statistic. GM might say, it's a D6 difficulty. GM rolls a D6. You then roll your dice. Get a 6. Roll again because it's the highest. Again, that's 12. 13, 14. I'm standing there. My muscles are bulging. I've beat it. I've rolled 14. Difficulty is 4. I've got degrees of success, i.e. the difference between it, of 10. All that's in a previous roll. Normally when you beat a result by 10 or more, you gain momentum. So the games master would then go, hand me a momentum token, or I mark it on my character sheet here at the bottom of the sheet. I'll just click that or tick it. I haven't got it set up. I don't think I've got it set up on this PDF. No, I've not got it set on this PDF, but we do on our Foundry VTT documents. Okay, so there we are. That's a basic roll. You just roll your statistic, one dice versus a difficulty. But it doesn't always go like that because, for example, say you get into combat. And let's say my combat, which is a D8. So look at the character sheet. Top right corner there, you can see that it's a D8. So I bring a D8 down into statistics. So I pick up a D8. I might have a specialisation. So we have a look on the specialisations. Yeah, I've got a combat knife and I've got D8 in there. So I'll get myself another D8 and I'll put it in specialisations. So my dice pool is now 2D8. So when I roll my dice pool, I roll both dice, drop the lowest because I don't need that anymore. My result is a 6. Okay, that's upside down. So just can I turn that if I pick it up? No, it's not going to turn around for me. However, that is a 6 because you won't have a 9 and D8, will you? So, but more likely than anything, let's say old Ziva here is again attacking with her combat. She's got D8 in her knife. She's fighting some resistance fighters out in, also some terrorists maybe that she's been hired as part of a mercenary group to rescue somebody that's been kidnapped by some terrorists. The enhancer in the groups, enhancing the group for 2 levels, which is a D6, D4, D6, D8, D10, D12. That's the 5 levels. So that'll be a D6 for a boost dice. So I'll put that down and I've got 3 dice in my dice pool. I roll all 3 dice. Drop the lowest. Oh, I got the dice. Learn to use the software. Right, so I'll roll these again because I've rolled the highest. So I've got 11 on D6, 10 on the D8, discard the D8, 11's my result. So always keep the highest dice, or just roll all the dice, D6, D8, another D8, pick them up like this. There we are, picked them up. Roll them, drop the lowest, oh look, 5 and a 7 on there, I've got an 8 on a D8, 9 to 11, 11 on D8. As quick as that. And then if I beat the target number, I've succeeded. And then Games Master would tell me what's happened. Right, okay, so what else can be put into the dice pool? Hindrance, as we can see in the full flame. So we know we've got combat dice of D8. We've got a knife of D8 for specialisations, which are your skills. We've said that the enhancer has boosted us for a bonus of D6 for enhancement. Either inspire or enhancement perks activated. And let's say there's a level of stun on the target. I'm trying to stab this terrorist. So there we are. It's got 1 level of stuns. That gives me a hindrance dice. Whenever there's hindrance on the enemy, whatever hindrance is on them adds to your dice pool, making it more chance of success in your activity that you're performing. So there we are. So I now roll all 4 of them. Oh, and a 2D8 have gone in the bag. Oh, that's amazing. Let's bring that D6 down here. I'm on fire today. So these 2D8, we'll just dump over there. These roll again because I rolled max. There we go. So that's a 2 on the D4. I've got 11 again. So I've got 11 on D6. Let's say the terrorist has got a D6 in defence. So he rolls his defence, which is 3. So I've beat him. So I've hit him. Which brings us on to the next category, other. The other or blue category down there is items. Or sometimes you get perks that add other dice. So you may have a perk activated giving you bonus dice. and another perk giving you other dice. Basically, it's just giving you extra dice to roll. So you got giving you the potential of rolling 5 dice. So let's say she's going to do some damage with her knife, and we can see the damage pool in the middle of the screen there, just below the delirium, is a D6 and a D4 for the combat knife. So D6 strength is a statistic, D4 for the weapon, so that goes down into other. We're boosted by our enhancer skill for 2 levels, so that goes in the bonus dice, and there's a hindrance level on the target. Still, they're stunned, so you may get the D4 for that. We don't have any specializations for causing damage, so we don't put any specialization dice in there, but we're still rolling 4 dice. So we've rolled 4 dice. Looks like a 4 on there, so there we go. 4 plus 3, 7. So we've rolled 7 on our dice. Let's get rid of all these lowest ones without grabbing any more of these 8s. And so we got 7 on our D4. Let's say there's quite a tough terrorist. He's got D8 physique. 8. That's 11, 12. I've stabbed into him. I've just caused him another stun point. He's shook off. He's ripped down through his vest, cut across his skin, leaving a bit of a scratch more than a wound. That's a shame. Never mind. Okay, let's have a look at stacking the dice. That's how dice pools work. You just put them in there. So, dice of the same lane or category stack. So, let's have a look. What do we mean by that? Let's have another go at the attack. We got D8 combat. Do you remember over in the blue area at the top right? Got combat. We got D8 as a knife specialisation. The very first specialisation at the top there, level 3 DV, which is dice value, or DT, dice type, whatever it is, D8. So we bung that in there. We were enhanced by our enhancer for D6. And let's say you still had a hindrance there from the stun. Let's say another member of the party, the agitator, has thrown 2 levels of distraction on their target, which then means that the hindrance is increased by 2 levels. So levels go up in dice type. So D4 is the first dice, so level 1. Then you got level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5. So level 1 is your D4, level 2 is your D6, level 3 is your D8, level 4 your D10, level 5 D12. Just the same as your fingers, D4, D6, D8, D10, D12. They're the only dice we use. So, let's bring that back so we can go up. So it's gone up. This is level 1. This here. Okay, so that's level 1. And we want to move to, say, 2 levels. So we've got level 1, level 2, level 3. So we've gone up. 1 plus 2 is 3. That is our new dice. So we replaced the D4 with a D8. We've increased the dice value, giving us a broader range. Okay, D4 might explode more often on a 4, but you've got to get that 4. However, if you've got a D8, now we've got 3 D8 and a D6. I fancy our chances. And let's say that we're up against a D6 and a D4. So the game's master rolls whatever our target dice is, and he's got a 4. So discard the lowest. We'd roll our dice pool. Hopefully not into the dice bag. There we are. There's our highest is a 7. It would help if I zoomed in, sorry. So we got a 4 on the D6 and a 7 on the D8. Making us a successful dice roll, whatever task we were just performing there. I think we set up a specialisation. So it was a skill roll. Okay, so the let's bring our dice levels out again. D4, D6, D8, D10 and a D12. You can pick up a set of our colour dice. They match that in there as well. I can't angle. There it is to the camera. So you could get them if you want. I reckon. Or if you're an avid collector like myself, you'd have loads of dice. And this is a great way to use all your dice as well, because multiple dice of D8s that you'd be rolling and D6s. It's great. Normally, 1 to 5 dice. That is what you roll. But let's say we've got D12 in strength. Let's say we're a superhero now. And it's a bruiser. It's got D12 in strength. And it activates a power that increases its strength. So the bulk has grown and he's decided that he's going to activate his strength power to enhance it up with some power points. And he wants to put 3 levels of strength into his strength. He's already got D12. So all that does is, let's go our dice levels again. We go back to the beginning again, D4. So we would go 1, 2, 3. It's a D8. We don't replace the D12 with D8. We add the D12 with the D8. But we don't add the results together. We just put an extra dice in that lane of the dice pool. So if we had, for argument's sake, a dice in each of these lanes, which is our 5 dice, he's got strength. Let's say he's got specialisation for picking up cars, argument's sake. He's boosted from a perk and some allies. The target is a hindrance on there. And maybe he's got gauntlets that give him bonus to strength or something. And it as a other dice. Now, I'm really stretching the rules here to fit the categories. But I'm trying to give you an idea of what might happen. Sore throat. Okay, so now we're rolling 6 dice because the D12 has reached its maximum and we go back to D4. If, say, for example, we boosted it, that strength dice, let's take the D8 away, by 10 levels, well, we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 2D12. Because we've gone over 12 and started again. Now, it'd be rolling 7 dice with 3D12 in there. That's insane. Okay, statistics. Rarely are you going to get a boost in your statistics. There's a couple of perks that boost statistics. The 2 categories that are really going to boost up are your bonus category and your hindrance category, the yellow and the green. They're the 2 because the enemy may have minus wounds, which adds hindrance levels. Stun could be like 5 points of stun. That's a D12 there. And 2, so let's say he's at minus 2 wounds. That'd be D4, D6, 1 level per negative. So that's 5, 6, 7 levels so far. It's a D12 and a D6. Let's say he's got 2 levels of hindrance on him from the agitator. So he's got, what's that, 9 levels. So it's a D12, D4, D6, D8, D10. D12, D10. That's as easy as working that out. So that could be in the boost there. So there we are. Boosted or hindered, sorry, that was. I'm talking nonsense. There we are. And now you've got 2 dice in your hindrance. And that potentially could happen in the bonus. You could have a perk activated. 3 of your companions may have perks activated that give you bonuses to a particular action. And you're doing that action and you could be rolling, say, a D12 and a D6. For argument's sake, that could be your dice pool. So you're rolling 5, 6, 7 dice again. And so on. Another good one is that you make a damage roll. Wherever you beat your target number by with combat, that becomes a dice type as a bonus dice. So let's have a little look. Let's do a couple of examples. Let's get rid of all this dice because there's just loads of dice on the table that we're not going to have. So let's get rid of all of this. There we go. Bring our dice back up here. There we go. Okay, so let's say we're rolling damage and we've got this D6 and a D4. Here, we've got D4 because it's a knife damage. We'll say again, Ziva's boosted by the enhancer and there's a level of stun on the enemy. So there's our damage dice. And the enemy's got a D8 physique and maybe some sort of vest protection. So the enemy rolls their dice. What do I get there? Oh, got a 4. 8. 9. 4. 5, 6. So 9's the highest there. She's not done any damage. So let's try to make this damage. Let's say it's really weak. Ziva's attacking a really weakened mook of some sort. Rolls the dice. They get a 3. On their roll, Ziva's managed to get 2 5s and a 4. Oh, my 4s are on fire today. I'm not really rolling them properly. 4, 5, 6. So we get rid of all these lower dice for the damage dice because no good. And 6 is our result against 3. So 6 minus 3 is 3. You go to the nearest dice type. 1, 2 result is 0 because there's no D2. 3, 4, D4, 5 and 6 D6 like that. So half the result, just go to get the degrees of success and then go towards that dice. Up to the dice by 2. So 3 and 4 go to D4, 5, 6, D6, 7, 8, D8. 1 and 2, 0. There no dice. So she's beaten by 3, therefore she gets a bonus dice of D4 because she beat the target number by 3. And therefore, so let's have a look. She's got strength, D6, using a knife, which is D4. We said that she had 2 levels of bonus from the enhancer. Now we can't add that in there because there's no D12. So these dice get added together. That's a level 1 and a level 2. Becomes a D8. Level 3. And there was a hindrance on the stun. And that's how you build dice pools. So each lane, statistics. So if for our argument's sake, I was doing a task and a GM said, or a perk said, add your perception to your social dice, because the perk's activated. I wouldn't know why, but we're just doing it for argument's sake. Ziva's got a social of D4. So let's just say she's trying to convince somebody to let her through the door, and she's got a perk that gives her perception, which is D8. So it goes in there, and that's when you add the dice together. 8 and a D gets increased by 1 level to a D10. Level 3, D4, D6, D8, increased by 1, D10. And if there was 2 specializations, say for example, you were using your archery, say for example you've got ranged weapon, and it said you had a perk activated that said add your ranged weapon specialization as an extra dice to your dice pool. If it says bonus dice, then it will go in bonus dice. But say if it said as an extra dice or as a specialization dice, then you go there. Say, for example, she had D6 in ranged weapon. Another D6. Well, you add them together. So it's 2 and 2, because D4, D6, D4, D6, D10. I did say I had a sore throat today. So that was how that happens. Let's have a look. Let's have a look in the book. So here's a cool RPG book. All beautifully designed, if I say so myself. So let's flick to a perk and see what one. Here we are. Martial Artist. Activate this perk to make precision attacks that can be crippling to your enemy. Amazing writing. Gain your combat level as a bonus dice to damage rolls. Okay, so she's got D6 for strength. So she's now kicking with her martial arts, and it says she gains a combat as a bonus dice. So a combat is a D8, and that goes in bonus dice. Okay, because it said specifically it is added as a bonus dice. So it gives it an extra dice in your dice pool. Had it said, I wonder if there is one that I know there's several that add some stat dice. Let's see if I can find one so I can show you the stats adding up. Bonus dice. If I don't find it in the next 5 seconds, I will have to show it in maybe a combat example. I remember one of the characters used it the other day, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. There's 1 or 2 perks, very rare, that add its social level as to distraction, bonus dice, damage. Yeah. Your character, Mighty Blow. Your character winds up to deliver a devastating blow. When Mighty Blow is activated, your character gains an additional strength dice up as other dice. So ignore me. So there we are. It's saying strength as other. That would work here. So this is how other dice would expand. Let's say she's attacking with her knife again, and we know that she's got D6 strength and a D4 for knife, and she just activated Mighty Blow, which allows her to add strength, an additional strength dice as other dice. Well, she's already got dice in that category, so these dice get added together, and that goes to a D8. There we go. If you can hear knocking, we've got builders in the apartment at the moment, and so they're working away. And there is definitely... Right, I can't find the perk. There's loads of perks there. I'm not going to go through them all here. So whenever a particular category is multiple dice in that category, you just add that lane together. If you can't work it out as you're going along, download one of our dice pool cards, have it out in front of you. Player reference sheets have them on them. So does the GM sheet. They've all got them on there. Get one of these, put it down in front of you. Just print it out on a printer, or buy one of our actual cards, and just put it out in front of you. Place the card dice on the lane, and you, as soon as you put another dice in that lane like that, you go, right, I've already got a D6 and a D4 over here in statistics. I need to add these dice together. Well, that's a 2 and a 1 levels, D46, D4 level 1, D46 level 2, add them together, 2, 3 is a D46, D8. And you just upgrade it. Okay, so it doesn't matter if it's specializations, bonus, hindrance, or other. If it's unclear and you're not sure, all items, because if you haven't read the book properly, you may go to to our item list, and under damage, I don't think I'm going to get in close enough. Here it lists all the damage in brackets. Stats are always in square brackets. It says, for example, quarterstaff is a strength and D6. So let's say her strength here is D6, and then you'd have a D6 for the quarterstaff. Yep. It doesn't say other, it just says damage. But it does say all damage are other dice on page 10, I think it is. Dice, 10 is 11. Other dice, there are page 11, sorry. Items can often add extra dice to dice pools, such as weapon damage, armor damage, and shield defensive capabilities. So they are other dice. And if you get 2 dice in other, so for example we had that strength boost, mighty blow, which adds another d6 in now, that would then increase that from 2d6 to a d10. Why? d6 is level 2, d4, d6. So if we add them together, that's level 4, d4, d6, d8, d10. 4 levels. And that's dice pools. If you get any difficulty with them, come on to Discord, come and ask. I can explain it. We've got it all written down in the Oracle magazine. I just wanted to show you several ways that this might happen. But if you come across something in the book that doesn't make sense to you, jump on the Discord. I live in Discord, so jump in now, ask in the Core RPG channel, and I will answer it for you with actually how it runs. And if the rules do not make sense, then in our expanded guides, which are free to all our Patreon members, each section comes with expanded guide. I would then expand upon the rules in there, and we'll put your query down as an expansion into there, explaining how that would happen, and examples as well. And the only way I'm going to find out if people don't understand is if you come and tell me. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, and this brief, well, I say brief, it's half hour tutorial on dice pools. So I think we've covered everything now. Should be easy enough to work out from now. So until next time, I'll see you soon. Bye.